I think with North Korea, it was around mid-90s when North Korean people were dying from the great famine that was man-made famine, and North Korea was still not having that capability quite to nuke the country, right? They were building nuclear weapons. There were clear signs. There were the nuclear test sites in North Korea from the satellite. The American government knew. And people in North Korea were dying from starvation and oppression. And there was a clear evidence that North Korean people needed help from the outside the country. But America didn't do anything, and the Western, European countries did not do anything. And I wouldn't also blame America, because whenever America try to do something, stand up for justice and fight for freedom, of course they don't do a perfect job. They do their best, but they make mistakes. And that mistake overrides their good intention, and then nobody appreciates that anything that America does. That's sad truth. Now I'm becoming American. It's so it's bittersweet, right? The America, of course, made the mistakes, but it did try to good more than any other countries in the world. But it never gets any credit for anything that it does good. So therefore, why is it America's problem to keeping people safe and free? So this is where we have to now really rethink. And also, I do think that world took America for granted. And even though this country did so many right things, that how much attack this country gets within and outside is really not fair. And because of that, I don't know what should be America doing this time. So Malala's World War III is too dramatic and a bit of fear-mongering. This is a strategic move by Putin, seeing how much he can get away with. Western nations have shown weakness internally and extremely. So until I saw the invasion this time by Putin, I would not even guess that. I would not even think that invasion was going to happen. But World War III is a possibility, because also their stupid mistakes can be made by politicians. The thing that we need to understand is that people are imperfect. They make mistakes. And I do still think that maybe, hopefully, the West is rational enough. They're gonna prevent this war to happen, and I hope that's the case. Yeah, I really hope that's the case. But I think, Putin knows Biden is so weak and the West is so weak that all they got is just words, and they have no substance at all. They don't really have a desire to deter anything, and they are not united whatsoever. They are so divided, and because of that, if there's a time to attack, it's really now, right? So we are gonna really learn, if Putin gets away with it, of course China will go away, take Taiwan. Then if Taiwan is taken over, then who do we know what's gonna be the next? Really, we don't even know that. And then world order will change. That's gonna be totally the new world we are going to live in. It is amazing how much world looks so different place in even compared to last 10 years, guys. Do you feel that how things are so changed vastly that I just okay, I'm missing so many questions here. So Greg is, I think it could lead to World War III. I think Russia will hack our banking system, and it could lead to military conflict if it creates economic crash. So it's interesting. Right before this, I think Ben Shapiro tweeted that we are dealing with people who have a strong ideology, and that is Putin has a very strong ideology of that Russia is strong, that all these countries, former Soviet Union countries, belong to Russia, and building that empire, great empire again, right? China has this amazing ideology. It's not really amazing, but crazy ideology that China is the center of the universe. The Zhongguo is the middle country, middle kingdom, right? They believe that they are center of this universe, and they cannot stand that America is number one, and their goal is dedicated to become the number one and become the center of the universe, whatever it takes. And there is a country like North Korea believe that they are gods, that people belong to become their slaves. and they wanna make the entire Korea be under their slavery. I mean, like North Korean regime's dream is making South Korea become like North Korea, and even another 50 million Korean people have to worship this Kim family. A lot of these people are driven by this ideology, and the West is look at just America. Hollywood is obsessed with their revenue and with their like profit, right? They bow time to everything they make is tailoring to China and Sespe's taste bud, right? And American corporations, look at Goldman Sachs, and every corporation now in America are even Amazon, even Google, big tech, they are all bow time to China to make profits. So because in America now there's no ideology that is like, it's not about morality that we're chasing. In the West is chasing profit. And I don't know what's better or what's worse, but both are very, very, very bad. Like you need to have discipline, you need to have principle, you need to have moral compass, and we lost it here in the West. And that's why we see that the America is getting infiltrated by China. That's why we became so corruptible. Used to be in America where corruption was exception and corruption was not the rule. And now in this country, look at just what Hollywood does. It's remarkable how much censorship is going on, how much big tech is willing to censor its own citizens so they do not upset CCP in China, right? I think because of that, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. I think that's honestly what I see is that I don't think anybody knows what's happening and what's going to happen at this point. And we just have to be very flexible and be able to adjust quickly and be able to, assess situation very quickly. I think that's what it comes down to right now. It's like, I don't think anybody has any clue. Let's see. So corruption has always been the rule since before America was formed. Yes, I agree. It's a very unique thing to see how corruption was not a prevalent thing in America, and people do not understand how other countries are so unbelievably corrupt. So Johnson Lim, China says Taiwan's part of China. Do you think China is unaware there are indigenous people of Taiwan whose culture is similar to Polynesians, of which can trace their DNA to the natives of Taiwan? Yeah, that's funny thing. And believe it or not, guys, China also says that big part of Korea is part of China. Like, I think they are eventually gonna claim that everybody has been a part of China, and that's what Russia says too. I think this is but then a lot of people before that, the civil war happening in the 50s with Mao and Chiang Kai-shek, where a lot of people fled to Taiwan from mainland. And it's I think for that, China, anybody who, that's the thing, like whoever controls the past, that person gonna control the future. Like George Orwell wrote it perfectly well, that these people are rewriting the history, and we see that in America too. Every day now in America, the history get rewritten, and this is not just only something happening in China and Russia. It's happening everywhere, and it's scary beyond anything, because I know in North Korea how lies can brainwash people and make people unaware, like unable to think critically. And this is why I'm so for like open dialogue and open discussion, and not striking people's freedom of speech. And in America, we are like exactly following the same path, and whoever, they're gonna keep changing the narrative, and brainwashing gonna happen in this country too if we do not wake up and resist.